If you have the money, like assume that you have infinite money, would you buy one?
Yeah, you will not buy this one.
Oh yeah, you will not buy. Would you buy one truck? No. And would you buy this car? No. Why?
Hey Tom Peng, love what you're doing on your channel, buddy. Super congrats. You know, giving your time and energy to nonprofit business channel. Look man, keep driving that audience. So Tom Peng, look forward to spending some time with you. I know you got the right mindset, so I'd love for you to share some of that from the big V. God bless, be great. 10X.
Hello everybody.
Hello.
Come on in. Let's go. Are you happy that I drove in fast today? Are you happy? No, I'm not talking to you. Yes, no.
Yes.
What? It's okay. You're not gonna get sick? Don't know yet. So what do you think about the VinFast? So far.
I think the smell not good.
The smell not good? Does it still smell bad in here? I'm sure it's not me, you know. It smells like what? What does it smell like?
I have the same problem, sir. I think smells of the plastic, new plastic.
Ann, what does that smell like? I don't smell anything. Petrol? Oil, petrol, gas. Like everything that smells bad. Except poop, right? No poop, right? I did not fart. What do you think about the ride quality? Like, is it like the quality of the ride? Huh?
Not smooth.
It's not smooth? I think it's pretty smooth. You know, it's electric. There's no vibration from the engine.
Honestly, to say, in my opinion.
In your opinion?
Yes.
Why are you so polite?
Actually, I don't understand about car, but my feeling is I think because electric is no sound, so it's really feel smoother than another car in the same level.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
So it feels smoother than a similar
Only
car.
With the cars with the same
Okay.
level.
Cannot compare to Bentley?
Definitely cannot.
Okay. Truck, like, I think you rolled in all of my cars. Like, what's your favorite? You like the Mercedes? Which one?
Two-door.
You like the two-door Mercedes, and then the second one?
Another Mercedes.
the SUV, and then the next one?
Bentley.
The Bentley, and then the last one is this one. Oh my god. You guys are so vain. I like this car the best. Like, this is my favorite now. I only want to drive this one. Can we drive this one every day? And can we drive this one every day? They ignore me.
But in this case, we should drive the VinFast because it's really petrol saving.
Oh really? You wanna save money for me? Really? You're so thoughtful. You care about me spending money. Anything else you like about this car? Ann says no, nothing. You like nothing about this car? It's big, right? The back seat is big. Yeah, it's a lot of room, right?
Better than the Bentley.
Yeah, better than the Bentley.
Is that save money for paper?
Oh, only good for saving money. Okay. That's what Ann said?
Yes.
And there's no other like good quality about this car. That's so sad. How about like this? Is it fast? No. Does it feel fast?
Yes.
Like, does that feel fast?
Yes. I don't want to throw up on your car.
You don't want to throw up in my car? Does it feel faster than the Bentley or the two-door? Don't think so, right? Well, it's not as fast.
But the Bentley and the SL have the sound.
Yes, it's noisy. It makes you feel faster. But it is really faster. By like twice as fast. Like, it can go like accelerate much faster than this one. You guys are spoiled, you know? You're so spoiled. What if you like? What if your boyfriend can only drive like Kia Morning? Then what happens? You're gonna throw up in their cars? You know what? I think the smell, you can get used to it. I think if you just like ride in my car every day, you'll get used to the smell. And like me, you can't smell it anymore. What do you think? I think we need to practice every day. You think? And? No. No. Ah. Okay, what you don't like about this car? The smell, what else? Not as smooth. Okay, not smooth, meaning that you feel the bumps on the road, right? Okay, what else? Does it look nice? It look nice? Okay, you like the look outside. What about the inside?
Inside is nice too.
Inside look nice too, okay. And truck? Agree? Okay. It doesn't look like shit? Would you buy one for yourself? If you have the money, like assume that you have infinite money, would you buy one?
If I have that kind of money, I will not buy this one.
Oh yeah, you will not buy. What would you buy then?
I don't know.
You don't know,
Maybe
but just
gas.
not this one.
Maybe gas.
Maybe gas? But gas is old. Gas is like yesterday.
Okay.
Like it's electric now. Electric is the future.
I still don't see many stations for charging yet.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of electric cars yet. Would you buy one truck? No? What would you buy then? If you have infinite money?
Another one.
You'll buy a motorbike. No. And what's another one? What? I can't hear you. I'm deaf.
Another one.
What's another one? Like, give me an idea. What is another one? Like, you're gonna buy a truck?
The car, but not this one.
Yeah, like what? She doesn't know.
There's a pink.
Oh, it's the color, right? You just want pink anything. All right. She's a car expert. So, Ann, would you buy this car? No. Why? Why? But I love it. It's like my favorite right now. It's my favorite right now. All right, I think I'm done, right? I have nothing else to say. Okay. You know what? You're being recorded. I'm sending this to VinFast. Yeah, they're getting like real feedback. Okay, and then they'll send somebody to kill you. They will sue you. No, I don't think so. Or maybe they will fix it. The next car, it will smell so nice. You open the door, it smells like flower. Like, so good. I don't want to leave. You know.
Fix it, you know?
Yes, I think I can. Like, yeah. Yes, I can use that. This is a VinFast VF e34, the first Vietnamese-made electric car released in Vietnam. VinFast, as a car company, is making a huge transition. They're only going to make electric cars not just in Vietnam, and also for the United States market and across the world. And this is one of the first products. In fact, I'm very proud to be one of the first few people to actually own a VinFast VF e34. Today we're going to do a detailed review of this car, and then later on I'm going to take the car out and we'll see how it drives together. So the very first thing we're going to look at is the key fob for the VF e34. So it's a very simple VinFast key fob. It's got 4 buttons. The top button, I believe, here is for some kind of alarm. It's not working right now. And this is unlock and lock, and this one opens up the trunk. Now let's take a look at the car exterior. So the standard tire on this is an 18-inch alloy wheel. It's a 215/45 R18. It has a very standard VinFast identity. So it looks like a VinFast. If you see this on the street, you know it's a VinFast. And the car that I have is black. Not because I like black, because I want to be one of the first people to get the car. So I was not picky about the color. And I basically told them, give me any car you have. Just give me a car now. I don't care what color it is. And when you buy this car, VinFast will give you some additional accessories to purchase, and it's a half-page list. I did not acquire everything on that list, but let me show you what I purchased. First of all, I have the car windows wrapped with a 3M dark tint. So as you can see, the car is tinted, and it goes very well with the dark color of the car. I did purchase this camera, which is not yet installed. This is about $4 or $5 million, I can't remember. I also purchased this set of floor mats, but actually the car does come with floor mats. This is the great floor mats that the car comes with. So you don't really have to buy additional floor mats. Well, it does come with a shark fin at the top, making it look a little bit more sporty. Because it's an electric car, so there is no tailpipe, as it should. Just to give you an idea of the dimensions of a VinFast VF e34, I'm comparing it against a Bentley. And Bentley is a pretty big car. It's a pretty big coupe. I have a Continental GT here, so you can see the difference in width here. And if I go to the side, you see let's say the head is sort of lined up, and if we look at the rear, it's slightly shorter than the Bentley, but not by much. So by all means, the VinFast VF e34 is not a small car. So now let's talk about the interior of the VinFast VF e34. I have to say, my first impression is that this is actually a really good looking interior. When I first sit in the car, the chair is comfortable. Everything looks modern. It's got a beautiful dash here, and most importantly, it's blowing very cold air conditioning right now because I was just filming outside, and you know how Ho Chi Minh City this time can be very, very, very hot. So let's take a look at the technology and an interior from a driver's point of view. It's got a nice digital display here as well for both the driver and the passenger. Let's go through this one by one. So in the driver's display, we have many different functions here. This is the home, and it tells me the mode that I'm in, my speed, and also currently the car is charged up to 79%. I still have 113 kilometers in range, and this tells me whether people have their seatbelt on or not. Currently the car is in park, and yes, I have only driven 230 kilometers on this brand new car. You see this film that protects the display, I still haven't even ripped that off because, you know, it's still so new. I don't want to do it. And also on the next screen, this is supposed to be the GPS, the navigational map, but I have to tell you that the navigational map in this car still doesn't work. I believe VinFast is still working on the software, and when your phone is connected, on the third item here, it will allow you to see your call history, and also of course you'll be able to have a phone conversation with people inside the car through the speakers. If you go to the next item here, that will be the music icon here. This is how you can see all the music library in your phone and be able to play music from the car speakers, and the music comes from your phone. And this is the history. You can probably tell what this means. I cannot. I can guess what those numbers mean, but I think this is the most critical number that we care about, because this will tell us about our electricity consumption per 100 kilometers. But I can tell you that this number has not worked. It's always at 0.0. So again, I think the car needs some software update. On this side, we have a visual display of how much electricity we have in the car. So it's about 80% full. And on this side, you see power and regen. So what this means is that if the car is using electricity, you'll see there's dots on this side. If the car is recharging itself, and you can see that it's actually in regeneration. It's converting that kinetic energy to electricity and putting it back into the battery. You can see that whether the car is using power or actually gaining power. Now going to the center console, I think one of the key selling points for VinFast is that it's got an assistant. So you can actually talk to the car. You can say, hey VinFast, and you can tell the VinFast to do something. And unfortunately, my VinFast does not understand me. I have to learn Vietnamese to be able to talk to my car. Now, let's talk about what's in the center console. It's basically an Android, a modified version of Android. So it's got standard apps. So this one is, I believe, allows you to configure certain driver aids, like for example, lane, so that let's say if you fall asleep at the driver's seat and you go across lane, then they will give you a warning. And that's why the car beep 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 so much when I drive the car. And this one, I believe, is obstacle sensor, meaning that if anything is close to your car, it will give you warning so that you don't hit it. Again, it creates a lot of beep 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 noises, and but this one's actually useful because you don't want to bump into anything. Again, this is some kind of blind spot detection. So if you want to switch lane and there's a car that you cannot see, the car will warn you. This one is open door warning. So if you're gonna open your door and there's a car coming towards you, the VinFast is smart enough to tell you that the situation exists, you should not open your door. So basically the car beeps all the time. Later on when we take the car out, you'll see that for yourself as well. And finally, what does this do? Parking assistance. So this one will help you park into a parking space. Again, I believe this is not automated. This is all just using sensors to detect if you're gonna hit anything and give you beep, beep, beep warning all the time. So this car beeps all the time. Okay, now let's go back. So those are driver aids. This tells you your battery usage. Now I'm at 78%. I still have 112 kilometers to go. This one is, you know, if you want to set up services with VinFast, this one is actually a web browser. There is no YouTube app in this center console. So the only way, let's say you want to listen to music on YouTube, is by going to the browser and going to YouTube. If you want to watch Tom Peng YouTube channel videos, this is how you do it. And also, I want to show you something, right? If the car is in motion, what happens is that it will not allow you to use the browser. So it will give you that message, and you cannot do anything in the browser. Okay, now let's go to the camera, 360 camera. So okay, so look. So I can kind of spin around and see the entire environment around me. Normally you get this feature on a higher end car, but you get this on a entry-level electric car from VinFast. So I think that was pretty cool. Okay, and what else is there? There is the map, the navigational map. And like I said, I believe VinFast is still working on the navigational map feature, so I'm waiting for a update from VinFast so that this actually works for me. You can play music. This is a standard music app. You have to connect your Bluetooth or your USB. Now, you can make phone calls. After you connect with Bluetooth, you can make phone calls inside the car. There is a PT Play, so if you subscribe to that. And I believe this is the manual. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, so the entire manual is in fact accessible in the center console. Now, this is an Android tablet, basically. So if I go to settings, you'll see that this is very, very familiar if you use Android. And every VinFast comes with SIM card already installed. So for example, I have a SIM card in the car, and I am already paying a 2 GB per month plan. So this allows my car to have internet always. I don't have to connect with my phone. I don't have to connect with Wi-Fi. In order to charge up your SIM card, you scan this QR code on your phone, and then you go to a page, and then you can pay for the plan. And finally, I think a very important feature on the center console is you know, being able to set your air conditioning setting. So right now it's at 16 degrees, and I'm telling you, it blows really cold air. And I'm really impressed by the ability of the air conditioning, which is quite important here in Ho Chi Minh City. I can set different fan speed as well. So earlier it was probably too loud, so I can turn that down to about 2, so you can hear me better. And here we have a hazard button. Here we have a defrost feature. If the windows get foggy, we can turn off traction control, and it actually tells you that the traction control is turned off. And finally, I can also open up the rear trunk from inside the car, and I can actually close it again, like so. Okay, 2 USB ports that you can use to charge your phones. Now, this is the gear that you change your transmission, right? So you can go to drive. So now I'm in the drive mode, and then I can go forward. I can go back to neutral. I can go to rear. So now the car will go backwards. And push the button to to go to park. See, I haven't even peeled off the plastic protection thing, right? Because it's still so new. Now, there's a mode button. Let me show you what happens when I press this button, okay? The car has multiple modes. We have the race mode. This is the mode that I use always. I don't believe in driving slow, all right? And we have the energy saving mode. So this mode is the mode where you're gonna use the least amount of electricity, and that way you can go as far as possible. You can have the longest range. And then you have the in-between mode, which is the comfort mode. This mode is somewhere between energy saving and racing mode. Let me go through these modes a little bit more. So in race mode, you use electricity the most. So when you push the gas, not the gas pedal, but if you push the throttle down, the car will use as much energy available to propel the car forward. And that's how you get the most speed, the most acceleration. But if you're in the energy saving mode, it will use very little amount of energy to push the car forward. So you're not going to go as fast, or you're not going to accelerate as fast. Also, when you let go of the pedal, what happens is that the car will automatically slow down. Not because it's applying the brake. It's using the electric motors to slow down the car and converting that kinetic energy back into electricity and putting it back into the battery. So when you're in the energy saving mode, you're going to see that when you're not on the throttle, you're going to see that there's going to be a lot of regen. You're going to see many dots here showing you that the car is in regen, okay? And that's how you can get the maximum range, the maximum distance traveled per full charge of electricity if you're in this mode. Comfort mode is in between. So this is going to give you reasonable acceleration. It's not going to slow down the car too much when you let go of the throttle. It will be more like a normal car. So I would say comfort mode and racing mode, the car actually operates more like a gas car, more like a petrol car. But when you're in this energy saving mode, the car operates quite differently, and not most people are used to this. Now I want to go back to the center console here, right? All right, you can see that this car is registered to my company, and I want to tell you a story about this. Because when I received this car, basically this car was registered to no one. And if the car is registered to no one, then you cannot take this car to a charging station. Most of the functions in the center console does not work. The car was delivered to me that way, and next day I took the car back and say, hey, you know what, I cannot use most of the functions, the map doesn't work, and I don't know even how to charge the car, right? So I spent 2 or 3 hours at the VinFast dealership, and one person is asking, another person is asking, the service people asking, the head office. Nobody knew how to register the car to me, right? And in my mind, I knew that, the dealership cannot do it, because if anybody can change the owner of the car, that's not good, right? Because VinFast want to charge me money for using the car because there's a battery rental. So therefore, the car must associate to my account, but the dealership cannot do it. So after 2-3 hours of talking to people in the dealership, talking to the service people, talking to different departments, nobody know how to do it. Eventually they called the head office, and then they finally figured out that this association between my account and the car has to be done by their IT group, their IT department. So we waited another half an hour. Some IT guy in VinFast finally associated this car to my Vin ID. And now this car truly belongs to me. Whatever happens to this car, I own it. And if I go to a fast charging station, they charge me money for it. If I drive this car too much, because I'm actually renting the battery. That's another thing, right? If you buy this car, you buy the car, but you don't own the battery. You only rent it. They have to charge me money every month for renting the battery. They know who to charge. And only the IT group can make that association. So it's very important. Make sure when you take delivery of your VinFast, this is already registered to your Vin ID. And if it's registered to your Vin ID, then you're all set. You can go to a fast charging station, no problems. But when you have passengers and you're going slow, fast, because you're in the energy mode, the car will slow down without you telling it, and they get car sick very easily. And this is one of the things that a lot of electric car drivers, including owners of Tesla in North America, they complain about this problem of car sickness for passengers because the car is constantly doing this. Okay, I think there's a few things. Because of the regen mode, the car does slow down more than a normal petrol car, so the car is constantly in this motion, and people tend to get sick more. And second thing is that, of course, the suspension on this car is not going to be as good as the Bentley or the Mercedes. So there's more vibrations felt from the ground, and the passengers can feel it. And the third thing, and this is the reason why they tell me they get car sick, is because of all the plastic. Right, all the plastic in the car. So when you buy this car new, and when you get into the car, you will smell plastic. It smells like plastic, and it doesn't bother me. I didn't even notice it, but the girls, they noticed it, and they say to me, "Tom, it smells like plastic," and they attribute that as the primary reason why they get car sick in this car. So what do you think about the VinFast? The smell not good? Does it still smell bad in here?
Yes.
What does it smell like?
I think smells of the plastic, new plastic.
All right, let's talk about the rear sitting situation here. Let more light in, because that way you can see. The back sitting area is very comfortable, in my opinion. I know the girls that sit in my car, they disagree with me, but I would say the sitting position in the back seat is very, very comfortable. In fact, I would say that of all the cars in this segment, that this probably offers the most back seat space. And this is similar to quality to maybe Kia Morning or Hyundai i10. It does have a AC output. It does have a light here, but that's all you get. You don't get very much. And of course, seat belts, right? You got seat belts. It's actually for 3 people, so there's 3 seat belts here. That's about it. Nothing fancy here, but I'm super amazed at how much space there is, you know, to do whatever you want. Like, oh, I think I can have a girl sit on my lap, not a problem. Like, I think we can make out here. I think we can do many things in this back seat with the AC on. Of course, you gotta have the AC on to do anything in the back seat. So let's take another look at the trunk space. The trunk space is about this deep, right? So it's about 1 arm length into the end. So this is actually, I would say, smaller than a full-size or a medium-size SUV. But of course, you're getting such a big space in the back seat, so you gotta make some sacrifices. And VinFast made the sacrifice in the trunk area, so it's smaller. So we are gonna take the car to a charging station, because now we're about 59%. Generally, I want to keep the car charged as much as possible because I don't want to feel the anxiety when the battery is running low. I feel worried when that happens. So I like to go to VinCom where often they have charge stations and charge the car. So I am in the basement at VinCom, and usually at every VinCom center there is a charging station. Here, for example. So here are the charging stations, and right now there's only 2 functioning charging stations, here and here. And I'm going to show you how to charge a VinFast electric car. So we parked the car at VinCom at the charging station. So I put the car into park, and I open the door. There's a latch here. This is how you open the charging door. And let's get out of the car. let me show you how to charge the electric VinFast. So I probably need to turn off the car, so let's do that. And then this is the charging station. We will open the door, remove these two plastic thingies, take the charging thing out of this dock, and you really gotta pull on this. Really gotta pull on this to take it out. And you basically just plug it in, like so. And then it'll take a few seconds for the car to calibrate, but as you can see in the car, it actually tells you now it is charging, and it's preparing to charge. And at this point, you can just go up to Vincom Center and have a nice dinner or lunch. Do whatever you need to do. It's gonna take about 15 to 20 minutes to charge to nearly full. So for those people that are concerned, worried about buying an electric car because maybe you're worried about the range, you know, being able to find place and time to charge your electric car, you know, this is what I do. I charge a car at the basement at Vincom Center. I come up here and have my dinner, and during that 30 minutes, the car will be almost fully charged. So it actually does not impact my life in any way. In fact, I find this far more convenient than having to, you know, go to a gas station and stand there for 3-4 minutes while the attendant is filling the car with gas. This actually, you know, makes better use of my time. If you are price conscious, you're really conscious about how much money you're spending on gas, on electricity. I did the calculations already. I'm not gonna go into the details here, but no matter how you calculate it, you know, this is gonna be so much cheaper than gas. Yes, you gotta pay a monthly fee to rent the battery. Yes, you gotta pay every time you go to the charge station. And let me tell you, each time you charge the car to full, it's so cheap. Like each charge for me is about 40K down. It's incredible. And yes, if you go over 500 kilometers a month, they will charge you extra 1400 dong per kilometer. But it doesn't matter how you cut it, doesn't matter how you calculate it, it's going to be so much cheaper running a electric car than a gas car. So I don't need to detail all the numbers here, but you can figure that out yourself. And also you're gonna save a lot of money in terms of maintenance and repairs, because electric cars are just so much simpler. They're almost maintenance free. I'm still at the restaurant and I'm enjoying my sake. Let me show you what you can do while you're eating and your car's charging. You can go to your VinFast app and find out what is the current charge percentage. So I'm still at 58%, and this is not right. That means probably I did not do it right in the basement, or most likely what happened was that charging station is down. It does happen. Sometimes the charging station is temporarily out of service. And I think this is what's happening right now. That even though I plugged in, but I don't see the charge go up. So that's gonna be a problem. I think something that VinFast need to address. That you know, the charging stations need to stay operational. Otherwise, the car owners are gonna probably suffer when they find out they cannot charge their cars, and they're gonna have range anxiety. I actually came down to the charging station because I'm actually worried. I'm worried that the car is not charging, so I came down here. Actually, I was over there on a different charging station, and I changed to a different charging station. It's giving me an error message. This error message says EV1, wrong charge sequence. I'm pretty sure I did everything correctly, so now there's a problem with the charging stations. They're not charging the cars. Again, like these are problems problems that occur because we're at the very beginning of electric cars in Vietnam, and these are problems that VinFast need to solve if they really want to have great adoption of electric cars in Vietnam. And I think these are issues that they will solve. And VinFast, get your act together! Because I drive electric cars now, I have to be more strategic in how I go about during the day. For example, I take the car, I go to work, I come back, and on the way back, I stop at VinCom Center and I charge the car here and I go have dinner. Dinner will take me at least 30 minutes, and that is enough time to get the car almost to fully charged. And that's how I do it, and I try to do this every time I take the car out. So every time I take the car out, I have to plan either a lunch or dinner at the VinCom Center, and that way I always keep the car fully charged, because I don't want to get nervous. I don't want the car to go down to 30%, 20%, and then I will feel nervous. I will feel very nervous when I'm driving on the road. Am I gonna run out of electricity? Is the battery going to die on me? I don't want that. That's why I always want to keep the car charged whenever, wherever possible. And notice that in VinCom today, there are 4 charging stations. Only 2 of them are operating. It's okay right now because I'm probably the only person with a VinFast VF e34. There's nobody competing with me for the charging station. But as more and more people buy this car, that is going to be a problem, because a lot of people will do exactly the same thing I do. Whenever they can, they're gonna come here and charge up their car, and we will have to compete for these spaces. We'll need more and more charging stations, not just in VinCom Center, but all across Vietnam, to make it as easy as possible to get our electric cars charged up. And that's how we can get much better adoption. That's how we can convince more people to adopt electric cars, because that's going to be the #1 worry for most people, that they don't want to be anxious. They don't want to have range anxiety. They don't want to worry about themselves running out of electricity when they're driving their cars. More electric stations is going to be the solution. So now let's do a little bit more of testing. We're going to take the car on the road, and the first thing I want to test is the turning radius. And let's see if I can make a turn in a small street. And the answer is yes. So the turning radius on the VinFast VF e34, I would say is actually quite good. I can do this all day. And in fact, I would say it's actually very easy to do. Now, as any car review would have to have, and that is a 0 to 100 km/h speed test, right? We're gonna put the car into the race mode, and that's the mode I only drive in. So now, let's see how long it takes to go from 0 to 100 km/h. Okay, ready, set, go! All right, so that gives you kind of an idea of how long it takes to accelerate from 0 to 100. So the VinFast EF e34 by no means is a fast car. We just did the 0 to 100 km/h test, and the video editing team will tell you how fast it goes from 0 to 100. It's not a fast car, but I can tell you this. In Ho Chi Minh City,
400 meters,
in normal traffic, this is more than enough. In fact, you always feel that you have power whenever you need it, because it is an electric motor, meaning that you know, it's a very simple electric motor mounted in the front wheels, and there is no transmission. There's only one gear, right? So at any given time, you feel there's a lot of power. There's I think about 240 Newton meter of torque available to you basically at any speed. Compare this to entry-level cars like Kia Morning or Honda i10, cars in those range. Maybe they have 140 horsepower petrol engine, but you're not going to feel the power at every point in the rev range. This car doesn't have a rev range. It has power at any speed. But with the petrol car, maybe a small 4-liter engine car, the power maybe is not as available at low rev range. You have to really like drive the car hard, get the car to a high RPM before you can feel any power there. So that's the difference between this entry-level electric car and an entry-level petrol car, that you will feel more power from this car. In fact, this is more than ample. I can pass any car that I want on the street, as long as it's not a Lamborghini or a Bentley. You know, like I feel that I'm confident to overtake any car here. Now about the driving quality, the girls, they complain there's too much vibration from the road, there's a lot of rocking, but they're comparing it to the Bentley, they're comparing to my Mercedes, so obviously they're gonna say that. But comparing cars in the same category, comparing this to what you would ride in, let's say, a Grab car, usually a Kia Morning or a Honda i10 or a Toyota Vios, this is far superior because there is no vibration from the petrol engine, because it doesn't have a petrol engine, right? So there's no vibration. So as you go, you feel it's actually really smooth. The suspension is not as refined as a Bentley, so you do feel the vibrations from the road. If the road is not perfect, you see what I mean? There's a lot of beeping when you're driving this car, because it's always sensing if you're going into a different lane, or if a car is close, so it's always beeping at you. But back to the point, yes, there is vibration that you can sense from the road because the suspension is not as refined, but there is no vibration from the engine. There's no engine noise, and I would say the drive experience at low speed is actually very, very comfortable. However, you can still hear road noises. You can still hear what's happening outside. You can still hear the traffic. You can still feel the noise from the tires. All of that is still very audible. You can hear those things. Of course, you cannot compare this to a Bentley, which is totally silent. You cannot compare this to a Mercedes S-Class, because once you're in there, it's basically complete isolation. You don't hear anything. Even if the car behind you is like honking at you, you don't hear it. But in this car, you hear everything. You can hear everything that's around you. You can hear the tires, but there's no engine sound. You do hear the electric motor whine. You can hear that, like when you're going fast. But other than that, it's just the environment, the tire noise. That's it. Will I keep this car for the next 10 years? Probably not. I don't think I will keep it for the next 10 years because I'm getting another VinFast next year. It'll be the VF8 Plus. I think that will be a really fun car. But you know what? I'm keeping this car for at least this year because I think I'm really in love with it. And who knows? Maybe I will be in love with this car so much that I will not let this go. Maybe I'll just have 2 electric cars, right? Why do I like electric cars? Because I feel that I'm doing something good for the environment. I'm not paying 30K per liter of gas, and I'm being a pioneer, and I want to support this movement to the electrification of cars. It's good for our future, so why not? And also, I want Vietnam to develop more electric cars because that is the future. I want Vietnam to have a place in electric cars. Okay, so in summary, would I buy this car again? Let's say if I can go back in time, given my experience so far, would I buy this car? And the answer is complete, emphatic yes. I absolutely would buy this car all over again. There are some negatives. One, I think the car key needs some improvements because that's my Bentley, not this one. gotta make this button less sensitive, right? The one that open up the rear trunk, it's too sensitive, easily pressed, and then the trunk comes up. And sometimes I'm driving the car, the trunk is up, and I don't even know about it. So that is an issue I think we need to look into, VinFast. And also, the plastic smell. Personally, it doesn't bother me too much, but I know my girl passengers, they seem to be bothered by the plastic smell when they ride in a relatively new car, and they smell the plastic, and it makes them want to throw up. They're spoiled, okay? They're like so spoiled, but I think that can be easily remedied by putting something in the car when you deliver the car to customers, you know, just to kind of, you know, mask this plastic smell. I think those are the two biggest concerns I have regarding to ownership of this car in the first week. And I have to say, everything about this car, I'm really satisfied. I think the build quality is actually quite high. I know the build material is not the best. I mean, it's not leather, right? It's plastic, but again, this is relative to the price point of the car, and that's normal. But I have to say the build quality is very good. I remember a few years ago when I looked at the first VinFast car, when they were first introduced to the market, I was looking at the car and I noticed that the panels don't line up. Like the gaps on the right side and the left side are different. That is a build quality issue, and I don't see that in this car. I think everything is well built, and I've driven this car right now for 250 kilometers, and I have to say I have no problems other than the software, which I know VinFast is still updating. I need the maps, because right now I'm still relying on my Google Maps on my phone to navigate around the city. I really need to get my maps. But other than those things, you know, like I say, the build quality on this car is really high. The panels, they are all well put together. The car drives very solidly. The car feels very solid. So I would say this is a real win, and ultimately I would buy this car again because it's Vietnamese. And when I drive a Vietnamese car, I don't know about you, but I feel a sense of pride that I am driving a car made in Vietnam. And ultimately, that trumps everything, right? That is the number one reason that I love this car. And I know that, you know, I have Bentleys, I have Mercedes, but this is the car that I'm gonna drive almost every day, okay? And because I'm truly proud. I'm really truly proud that we can produce a car like this. And I can't wait till we get the VF8, maybe sometime next year. I think that will be even better. I encourage you to look into this car if you're in the market for a car. This might be the right car for you. Take some fucking action and don't be a fucktard.